the gym, and I watched Playmobil Movie today. Let's talk about it. Oh, golly, I got a lot to say about this film. I give it a 7. We'll start off with the beginning. I didn't realise it was a musical, and there was a musical right at the beginning of the film, and I didn't even realise it was a musical. I was thinking, is this the right film? I mean, I obviously knew it was the right film, but it felt like I was watching a completely different movie. Then, there was something, that wasn't very kiddish at the beginning of the film. It was quite adultish for a U rating as well. And most of the film, I'd say probably 95% of it is kiddish. The humour's quite kiddish. But there was a few things, I really, really enjoyed in the film, though, even though it was quite kiddish in my opinion. So, I really like the story. I haven't seen too much like it. And there were some characters that, with the way they were in the trailers, I was expecting to see them more in the film, not, only being in a couple of parts of the movie. But some of the characters were scene stealers. I really did like them being on screen. They were probably the best parts of the film. The bad guy, nothing special. So what's the point in even talking about him? Because it's just a very generic villain. It's basically a generic MCU villain. I like ranting about him. He's just really generic, and there's just nothing stands out about him. What else did I really like about the film? I did feel like it was paced quite nicely. I did feel like, I don't know if it was paced quite nicely, but it just felt like it didn't feel like it was that length. It felt like I was only watching it for about an hour and 10 minutes. It's probably about a 20-minute difference, though. And I did think the film was quite unpredictable. And I do like movies that, are quite unpredictable, that don't make me expect that happening. The ending, how it ends, obviously I was expecting that, but there were some parts I was like, I wasn't expecting them to go that way, but it actually worked quite well doing that. So, and the casting's quite good for the film, but I didn't feel like, no one else could have done their voices. Anyone could have done their voices. And literally anyone could have done those voices, because I just didn't feel like, oh my god, they did amazing work, very revolutionary. And the entire film's not very, like a revolutionary film. I don't think they're trying to. Whether this film only came out just for people to get into Playmobil or to get back into Playmobil. I've got a bit of nostalgia for Playmobil. I've still got like 6 figures for Playmobil, but I sold everything else I've got from it. So I do have a bit of nostalgia for Playmobil as a whole. And I do like the toys that they got for this series, or for the film. There's a series of sets for the film, and I really like the sets. I'm not going to get back to the Playmobil, but I might pick up one or two of them. I might get the minifigure series. Yeah, I didn't even know Playmobil had a minifigure series, but I would give the film I am going to give the film a 7 out of 10. There was nothing that really stood out for me in the film, and it made me confused. I obviously knew what was going on, but it made me confused because it was like, 1 minute, she was really annoyed, and then the next, the main character, the 1 minute, she's really annoyed, and the next scene she's in, she's really happy, and it's just a bit of a weird transition, in my opinion, but, I would recommend the film. It might be a bit too kiddish for you, and if you're not really a big fan of the songs weren't even that memorable, let's be honest, so, but I haven't really got much else to say about the film, I did have quite a lot to say about it, and I think I've mentioned everything. But if you don't like the trailers, probably don't watch it. If you like the trailers, you might want to see it. It's entirely up to you at that point. But thank you for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys soon. Ciao.